After the chaos of Big and Carrie's affair, both of them betraying their partners, Aidan and Natasha, it would seem logical that once the truth came out, they would finally end up together. The secret was exposed. The damage was already done. Natasha knew. The marriage was collapsing. So what was stopping them? It all came crashing down after Natasha fell down the stairs and ended up in the hospital, a moment that forced everything into the open. And naturally, it raises the question, if everything was already destroyed, why didn't Big and Carrie finally choose each other? Because with them, nothing is ever that simple. There is always something unspoken beneath the surface. There is always a reason. Let's break it down. Back in Season 3, Episode 9, Big tells Carrie that his marriage isn't working and hints that he might leave Natasha. But almost immediately, he backtracks. He tells Carrie later that divorce would cost him too much, financially and emotionally, and maybe he should just live with the life he built. That moment reveals something important. Big doesn't make decisions unless he absolutely has to. He only wants to leave Natasha if he is certain Carrie will be waiting on the other side. If she isn't, he would rather stay in an unhappy marriage than risk being alone. And Carrie isn't much different. Later, when Big shows up at Carrie's hotel, he admits he panicked when she didn't react to him saying he might leave Natasha. He wanted reassurance. He wanted proof she would choose him. Their relationship at this point is not about love alone. It's about risk. And neither of them is willing to jump first. By Episode 10, Carrie finally calls out the truth: Big wants both worlds. The passion and excitement of Carrie, and the safety and stability of Natasha. And when Big says he wants Carrie, the situation reaches a breaking point. Carrie says she can't keep living this double life. She says she'll tell Aidan. Big considers telling Natasha. But here's the real question: if Carrie had fully committed in that moment, if she had said, "Let's do this. Let's leave them and be together," would Big have actually followed through? Maybe. Maybe not. Because their entire relationship is built on emotional chicken. They keep pushing each other to see who will sacrifice everything first. Neither wants to be the one standing alone if the other changes their mind. And they both know it could happen. It has happened before. There is no trust between them. And how could there be? They are cheating on people who trust them completely. On some level, they both know, if someone can betray one person, they can betray another. That fear sits underneath everything. By Episode 11, the affair has been going on for weeks. Big chooses secret hotels. Carrie says she doesn't care who sees them. But her actions don't match her words. She keeps hiding. He keeps avoiding real confrontation. Big claims he's ready for his marriage to explode. But he never actually pulls the trigger himself. He leaves it up to fate, or circumstance, or someone else discovering the truth. And Carrie does something similar. She keeps telling herself things will work out somehow, without forcing a decision. In a strange way, they mirror each other perfectly. So why didn't they end up together? Part of the answer comes through Carrie's fear about Aidan finding out. She is terrified of hurting him. She is terrified of being the villain in someone else's story. She has always believed in romantic destiny, in love stories that unfold naturally, not ones built on destruction. Carrie wants a grand, overwhelming, storybook love. She wants to be chosen. She wants someone to risk everything for her. But she doesn't want to be the one who burns everything down to make it happen. And with Big, everything has always been backwards. Their relationship never followed the traditional emotional milestones. Their first date. Their exclusivity. Meeting family. Saying "I love you." Even their biggest life decisions, all of it happened in conflict, or confusion, or imbalance. So after the affair, Carrie wants things to finally feel right. She wants it to feel like destiny, not damage control. But there's another fear neither of them wants to say out loud. What if they destroy two relationships, lose everything, finally choose each other, and it still doesn't work? They have already failed twice before. The pattern is there. The evidence is there. Is their love strong enough to justify the destruction it would cause? Even Carrie doesn't know. That's why she keeps saying she just wants everyone to get out without getting hurt. It sounds noble. But it's also vague. Because at that point, no one can escape hurt. The damage is already done. When Big pushes her to choose, when he asks if she's in or out, she hesitates. She asks for more time. And that hesitation is everything. Because love might push you forward. But fear freezes you in place. When Natasha finds out, everything changes instantly. The fantasy collapses. The secrecy is gone. And now Carrie has to face the reality of who she became during the affair. She's disgusted with herself. And she's disgusted with Big. And Big, for the first time, speaks to her in a way he never has before, harsh, dismissive, almost cruel. That moment signals something deeper than anger. It signals lost respect. And once respect is gone, love alone isn't enough. They still love each other. That part never disappears. But they don't like who they became with each other. They don't like what they allowed themselves to do. And that version of them cannot build a healthy relationship. Not yet. It would take distance. Time. Growth. Space to forgive themselves. Space to forget some of the pain. Space to rebuild respect, both for themselves and for each other. Because right after the affair, they weren't two people choosing love. They were two people running from consequences, fear, guilt, and uncertainty. And relationships built in that emotional state rarely survive. That's the real reason they didn't reunite after Natasha found out. It wasn't timing. It wasn't opportunity. It wasn't even love. It was trust. It was fear. And most importantly, it was respect. They had lost it for themselves. And for each other. And without that foundation, choosing each other in that moment would have meant building a future on top of guilt, resentment, and doubt. They needed time apart to become people who could actually choose each other, not just run toward each other. And maybe that's why their story had to unfold the way it did. Because sometimes, love isn't enough when you don't like who you are while loving someone.